Hi guys. I think I'm a little shaky this morning. This is Kathy Hoffman, Cooking with Kat. I have not been on for a while and I apologize, but I hope my intentions are to start posting again and on a regular basis. I've had a lot happen to me this year. Some of you know that I fell December 31st of 2020, the grand year for us all. And I broke the rotator cuff bone off of my shoulder bone when I dislocated my shoulder when I fell at my new little house in Indiana. And I was moving in, got possession that day, so excited. Not on the ice, just turned around as a klutz that I am. Although I think I was just totally exhausted because December had been a big month and I had driven 12 hours the day before and was so excited and thought, well, I'll turn around and get something out of the other side of a bulletproof. And when I did, kapoom, smack. And I knew I dislocated my shoulder immediately. And I crawled in a little bit. And I thought, Kathy, you're going to have to get up. You're the only one here. So I forced myself to get up, holding my shoulder, holding my arm, because it hurt. Like, I can't tell you how bad it hurt. But anyway, I got my phone, which was in the house. And the funny thing about it, I mean, it's kind of a chaotic thing, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. But I got in the house and I got my phone and I called my daughter who lives about three miles away. So she said, Mom, I'll be right there. Well, it was a cold morning. They keep their cars outside because the puppies, my grandpuppies, get the run of the garage when they're not home. So of course there was ice on there. Well, anyway, meanwhile she's doing that, I go into my new house and the only place I had to sit was on the toilet. So Candy, my daughter, finally got there, and by that time I was pretty much in shock, and I said, you're gonna have to call 911 for the ambulance because I can't even stand up. Well, about 5 minutes 5 minutes, and then this is my life. 5 minutes before I went outside and decided to fall, the MetroNet, the internet guy called and he said, I had an appointment. He said, I'm 5 minutes away. And I'm like, oh great, come on. So Candy gets there, he gets there, and she says, Mom, do you want to go ahead and get the internet in the house? And I'm like, yes, please, have him go ahead. I mean, I can't, it would be who knows how long. So then the ambulance came and gets me in the ambulance. But anyway, that was a little chaotic morning, but I have been literally to, pardon my French, hell and back. I went 20 days just because of circumstances with that broken bone in my shoulder. I finally had surgery from a wonderful doctor in Gulf Breeze at St. Andrews who felt so daggone sorry for me. When I finally got to him, he added me to his already extended day surgery list the next 2 days later. So a plate and 7 screws later, I get my shoulder, taken care of, the broken bone. So when I fell, I jumbled the nerves. I jolted them is what I want to say. And I've had loss of nerves in my arm. My hand, even today, is from here down, I have nerves that are dead. So it's numb. Don't want to cry. But I thought this morning, I'm like, it is July the 10th. And I still have nerve pain. Which is good because if I get that nerve pain, then babies are waking up. A nerve grows an inch a month. And this is not what I got on here for, but You know, when you live by yourself, you just start ranting and raving whenever you start talking. But today, and then, so the numbness, I had to wear a sling for too long, and the nerve here really wasn't waking up. I had two of those, I've even forgot the name of it. But anyway, I had to have nerve surgery. I had them clipped here and then back there to try and get this nerve to wake up. Well, it is waking up, but I still have this wrist is like this. I cannot do that, so that's why I have the brace on. And this little finger turns in like this because of non-use, but they assure me when the nerves grow back that it's going to be straight, which I hope, because this is the most annoying thing. But, and I've also, the last time I went to the nerve doctor, he said, I don't want to see you for 4 months. And so that was encouraging because he said, I think you'll see a huge difference, but there's still tendon surgery that I can do if you do not get back 100%. I'm never going to be normal on this side. This shoulder's never going to be the same. And if anybody needs to have shoulder surgery, put it off as long as you can. I know it's painful, but with the plate especially, because you're never going to be the same, and it's going to hurt. You're going to be able to be the weatherman or the weatherwoman or whatever. But anyway, I'm so much better, and that's why I haven't been on very much. It's been a real struggle, but I'm up and about again. I feel good again. I've done some YouTube since this has happened. I'm on Thursday Night Live on Cece's Boutique page every Thursday. So things are rocking and rolling again in my life. And during all this mess, besides the COVID last year and being, locked in and eating and cooking and stuff, I put on so damn much weight. I just got to do something. So I'm starting to do the WW and to do the 1, 2, 3, and I get 30 of those a day, and they just add up so daggone quick. But so this morning I'm trying to start cooking and eating healthier and not eating out so much, because when you live by yourself and you live in paradise here in Gulf Shores, Alabama, where the food is just wonderful on the island clear to Perdido Key, you eat out all the time. And what are you going to get eating out? So besides whoop, doop, doop, and of course when you eat out, you got to have a cocktail, and then maybe you have to have a glass of wine, and then maybe you have to have an after dinner cocktail, and then whoop, you got 50 daggone of them things. So this morning I'm going to make apple fritters. Now, they're not like the bakery apple fritters, and they're not going to be like McDonald's apple fritters, which I've never had one, but they say they look just like the ones at bakery. Another short story, but when I was the owner of Once Upon a Time in Madison, Indiana, which was a children's and ladies' clothing store. I opened it and was 3 years in a small location. And a bigger location came up in a shopping center that was 6,000 square feet, but we divided it with my stepson, and he had a paint store on one side, and I had Once Upon a Time on the other side, which was 3,000 square feet, which was a big store. But anyway, it was good to me, and I had it for 22 years. But back to when I moved into the shopping center, after the 3 years I was in the little place, there was the bakery, and it was called Deacon's Bakery. And they had, all kinds of bakery goods, but their apple fritters were the best. But by the time I moved over there, I was so sick of apple fritters, because Joe would bring me one when I worked for him for a while, being his secretary. And so I didn't even eat them then, and I'm not a donut girl. So people said, what are you going to do moving over there by the bakery? I'm like, I'm going to do real good, because I don't do bakery. So that was a blessing on my part, or I would have looked like this back then, and that would not have been good. But anyway, all right, I'm going to make these apple fritters. And they're by the, it is a WW recipe. And we get in here because I talked too daggone long about my story. But they're going to be 3 points. And they're going to look like that. Now, let's hope they do. They've got the powdered sugar on them and everything. So, all right, I'm going to start cooking. And I'm not cooking, I'm going to start preparing. But it calls for all-purpose flour, sugar, table salt, egg substitute, fat-free skim milk. No, I have 2% milk. I can't do skim milk. Vanilla extract, and Granny Smith apple, and unsalted butter and powdered sugar. Now, how easy is that? And that's things that you would already have in your pantry, except maybe for the Granny Smith apples. So, here we go. Okay, it says to use a Granny Smith apple, which I have, peel, cored, and grated. Now, I'm going to show you how a GIMP, I can use my hand a little bit. I can't do that with my thumb. That's all I can do. And I can do this, which that's really good. But I can hold this apple now and I can peel it. Now, I want you to see this. This is awesome. See? It ain't going to be very pretty. And there's going to be chunks out of it. But I can peel the apple. Yippee! Okay, I've got my apple peeled. Now, I'm going to show you how, it took me 20 minutes to peel one apple. But look, I can do all this stuff. I mean, I guess. I don't know. And you grate it. So, it just takes me longer, but I can do it. So, this is the only grater I got. We'll see how this works. Hey, it's working. Granny Smith apple's tart, but it's a good cooking apple. And eating apples, what's your favorite apple to eat? I like a Fuji apple, and I haven't been eating apples. Lord, I don't do any fruit, but since I went to the grocery and made my list for my, new healthy way of eating, let's just say that I got apples. I got Fuji apple, and I got these Granny Smiths, so I'm going to keep on grating, and looky there, I can do it. There's one thing good about grating an apple or cheese is when it gets down to that little nub where you might think, oh, I can't do it anymore. It might hurt my finger, whatever. You just put it in your mouth. You can just eat it. Nothing. There's no waste. I'm getting down to the nub. See? Now look. Oh. All right, I'm ready to mix my ingredients, and I'm going to tell you what they are as we go. And it says in the large bowl, which I have here. Now, this is an old Tupperware bowl, and my mama got it for me a long time ago. God rest her soul up in heaven. I don't know what she'd think about me falling, and I've done so many crazy things since she's been gone, but I do miss her awful. So, but anyway, this is a non-skid Tupperware bowl, and boy, that has come in handy with the GIMP. But I already have the half a cup of flour in there, and then we're going to use granulated sugar, and this is 6 teaspoons of just regular sugar. Just put that in there, and then the salt, which is 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and I use says regular table salt, but I don't have table salt. I always use sea salt, and I'm sorry, I'm so close. I'm trying to get this thing, and it's hard, but okay. Now it says to mix this well, so we're just going to mix it with our teaspoon. So you got that mixed up really well. And then you add your wet ingredients. Get it all down there. All right, the wet ingredients are, well, let's see, a 1/4 cup of milk, and this is my 1/4 cup. This is old Tupperware. It's been in the dishwasher. You can see it's just beat all to heck. But you can't beat that old stuff because the new stuff ain't worth a hoot. Y'all probably wondering why I got my hat on. Well, you know, it's not too pretty in the morning when you get up. So I've got my 1/4 cup of milk in there. Whisk in the egg substitute, which that's a 1/2 cup. Yes. And I have to use this because my 1/2 cup, you know, and I don't ever cook with any of this stuff. Lord have mercy, but I gotta do something because I'm just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. And that's, of course, got the ounces. I don't want the ounces because I can't hold it. And my 1/2 cup, here we go, is, there we go. Mix that in there, and then vanilla. And I've talked about vanilla before. Got a story about vanilla too. Okay, I get this. I watch Barefoot Contessa on Food Network, and she recommended this vanilla one time, and it's Nielsen Massey Madagascar Bourbon Pure Vanilla Extract. It's wonderful, but one thing you don't want to do is, it's a glass jar, and if you keep your spices up in the cabinet, you don't want to let it fall out and break and bust all over the floor. Smells really good, but it's hard as heck to clean up. Because I did that one night, about 10 o'clock at night. Opened up that cabinet and bang! Just like when I fell and broke my shoulder. Talk about a mess, and it got sticky to the cabinets. I smelled vanilla for 6 weeks. Of course, my kitchen smelled good like I was baking, but Lord of mercy, don't ever do that. So keep this handy in a location where it doesn't fall. I'm keeping it in the box, but I don't know if that would help. But all right, we use a teaspoon of vanilla. So we're gonna, whoops, can't get it open. Old Gimpy here, so let's get, I have 2 or 3 opener things that I use. Heck, I never dreamed I couldn't get this, so I'm gonna tap it a little bit. My girlfriend, oh, see, that just worked perfect. She didn't know to take a knife or do anything to tap. I said, oh gosh, you gotta tap. Okay, now, we're gonna use this teaspoon of the vanilla and pour it in here. We're gonna get this lid on, that's for sure. And we're gonna put it down, and we're gonna go over here, get the whisk, and we're gonna whisk this up. I'm gonna whisk it up before I put my apples in there, just so I get all these ingredients really mixed up together. It says to go ahead and put the apples in there, but I'm not. So it's a thin batter. So let's go ahead and stir in the apples. Now there's some moisture in these apples, and I use 2 Granny Smith apples. So let's do this. And boy, that is thickening that right up. I think I got a seed in here. I'm gonna have to get that out here after a while. Whoops, there we go. All right, now, we will see how we go here with the skillet. And here's what it looks like. And Lord, let's hope it's the way it's supposed to look like. There we go. All right, gonna cook here in a minute. Cooking with Kat. Here we go. See you in a minute. Okay, it says to put a tablespoon of butter in the skillet, which it's gonna take a lot more than that, but in a large non-stick skillet, which I have here, and then over medium-high heat, and then you drop your apple mixture into the pan, making 8 even fritters. Cook until golden brown, about 2 to 3 minutes per side. And if you can't cook them all at the same time, you do 2 batches. But I think mine might be big enough, and I don't know. I think they're gonna run. But we're gonna try them, so let's get our butter cut here. Now, I also wanna talk about butter. Of course, I use unsalted butter unless the recipe says not to. But there are different varieties of butter. And in the last probably 2 years, a butter that has become very popular in cooking is Kerrygold butter. It is an Irish butter and it is so rich. It's pretty expensive, just like my vanilla. But you know, to get looking like me with this and this up here, which I didn't have before, got to use the good stuff. That way your pounds really count when you put them on. Because, you know, I'm not eating anything that I don't like. I'm not cooking anything that I don't like. Poor Joe, all the years we were married, he just loved coconut cream pie. And I'm like, no, I don't like it. Meringue pies, nope, I don't like it. But I would go for his birthday one year. I got him a huge coconut cream pie. And so he didn't do without, but I just didn't make them for him because I'm not going to spend my time making something I don't like. And I don't want to eat, you know. It's just that's just the way it is. So, all right, use your Kerrygold butter. Spend the extra. Just like with, if it calls for grated cheese, don't use the cheese that's already prepared. Buy the real cheese and grate it. It just enhances your recipe, and the flavors are just so much more blended and so much more delicious. Hello again. All right, I've got my butter melting. I'm gonna get it on here. You don't need to see me. You don't care about seeing me. All you care about seeing these fritters. Go in the skillet. Get this good butter melted. I didn't think that'd be enough butter, but I believe it's gonna be. All right, here we go. Put these in here now. I've got it on. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit to get these set. It says 8, but here's 1. I think we're gonna have more than 8. 2. Well, I don't know who's gonna eat all these. They ain't any good. I know who's gonna eat them. The garbage can. Oh my gosh, I think I told this story before. I used to sew back in the day when the girls were little, because I had 2 beautiful daughters. I have 2 beautiful daughters. Anyway, that batter is so thin. All right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in the skillet. We ain't gonna get 8. I'm gonna turn that up because it's just not hot enough, I don't believe. And I would sew, and if I couldn't get a zipper in correctly, we had, our house was, the yard went like this, and so our house, we had a balcony off the kitchen, and it was a walkout basement. And we had a ravine behind it with a creek. Honey, that creek got fed pants, cakes, anything that I couldn't do, and there was a lot. And poor Joe would come home from work. He'd say, well, what did you throw over today? I said, well, it was a good day. Didn't throw anything over. Or I'd say, well, I tried to make a cake. That didn't work. Well, looky here. These are just setting up just as pretty as you can be. I'm going to go ahead and put one more in here. So this is going to make more than 8 for sure. And of course, I can't do nothing without getting it all over the daggone stove. I'm a slaughtonist. That's what I call myself. My husband used to call, he used to call me Julia Child. I make such a daggone mess. I'm going to turn this heat down a little bit now. I think I'm going to turn. No, it's not ready yet to turn. I don't want it to burn. Can't believe I'm doing this on a video because I am not a baker. Okay, that one. Well, looky there. Isn't that a pretty sight? See how pretty? Almost looks like a pancake, doesn't it? All right. I can smell the apple. Let's try this little guy in the middle. I think. Looky there. I'm so impatient. I can't let anything go. And that one's ready. Just let them cook 2-3 minutes per side. Ooh, doggies, I'm getting excited. Those look really good. I think that guy's ready now. Let's check this one out. Of course, I have to flip 2 or 3 times, even though you're only supposed to do it once. That one I put in a little later. What is ready to flip too? Looky, looky, looky. I am so excited. I'm going to bring these up if I can so you can see how pretty they look. Now when they're done, it just says I'm going to put them on a paper plate. Just to sprinkle powdered sugar over them. You know, I live by myself, and I keep all sizes of paper plates handy. I used to hate paper plates, but you know, come in pretty daggone handy. Turn that back over and let that cook a minute. So when I get ready to cook the rest, and then I'll have them here and powdered sugar them, I'll be back. Okay, it's time for the taste test. I've got the other ones in the skillet. It said it only made 8. My goodness, it's made a lot. So here I go. I'm going to get me a paper towel. I'm going to try and be all ladylike, you know. I have trouble with that. Now, if you want to see more of me, I have a YouTube channel called Bulletproof, 2 words. If you want to find me, pretty entertaining. You would go, type in the one back home in Indiana, Bulletproof, 2 words. That was last October back in Indiana with my grandson Colin. But I sing along with songs and just have a ball, so check that out. And I'm going to get back to doing that a lot more too. So now I'm going to taste my apple fritters. See, it just looks really good. Mmm. Very moist. Really very good. You can taste that the apples are grated. But hey, really good. WW. Let me find it. I'm too busy eating. 1 is 3 points. And you know, I gotta have my coffee. My Longaberger cup. I love Longaberger baskets, Longaberger products. They're back in business now. I drink out of my Christmas cup every day. I love it. All right, guys. Cheers to a good breakfast that I have prepared. Love y'all. Bye now. Till next time. Cooking with Kat. Facebook. Love you. Bye.